think uh, think we think we should be there now. No, what's that?
Hmm.
Okay. Um, um, so you were at a surprise birthday party last night, huh?
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, what a beautiful evening it turned. Well, I guess it got
Yeah,
cool, huh? But wow, what a
it got
beautiful
cold later in the evening, but it was pretty nice. Yeah,
was it?
um,
You said it was downtown, the party?
yeah, on the West Slope. Yeah,
At a
Randall.
restaurant? You were at a restaurant?
Yeah, La Josie
No, I haven't heard of that.
or La Josie. I don't know.
Jose? Jose? Or
Josie.
oh, yeah, I have heard of that actually. Is that the are those the fellas that had the restaurant that had the three Michelin stars and it kind of blew up right, maybe a year or two before COVID and then there was big lawsuits and everything. I can't they had like three Michelin stars. They were over in West Loop and then I think the owner opened up. Didn't he open up this Josie that you're talking about?
I don't know. I don't know any of that. I had never been there and didn't know anything about it before I went. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was pretty good though.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I wonder what I'm thinking about then.
yeah. I mean, that may be it. I don't
What was
know.
the name of that? Do you remember the name of that three-star Michelin? It was big because it was like the only restaurant in Chicago that had three Michelin stars.
It's like Blackbird or something.
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
Blackbird.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. I knew you would know.
Yeah, I don't know the story you were talking about though. With as far as I know, they
Well,
just
it kind of suddenly closed and there were all kinds of
oh, and
lawsuits.
suddenly they said they were going to close it, and
Hmm.
they were kind of just quitting and everything. And yeah, there were I know partners, but it's on. But I mean, I remember knowing that it was coming,
Hmm.
and that they were going to be closing it. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was one of those first restaurants over there on Randolph. Before there was really a restaurant row.
Mhm.
It was a little further east than most of them, but yeah, it was there for quite a while.
Hmm. Yeah. So tell us about Josie. What's that? What is Josie?
Mexican. It's
Okay.
La Josie, or I don't know
Oh,
if I don't know if it's pronounced Josie or
Hosea.
no.
Wow.
There's no A. Josie.
But in Spanish you say every vowel. So and you say E like A. So it'd be Hosea.
I don't
Hosea.
know. Yeah,
Hosea.
yeah, and we were talking
Hosea.
about. I
Hosea.
haven't looked it up yet, but we were talking about Torchio or Torquio, and it's only one C
Torquio.
though, but it's not two C's like
Oh no,
Pinocchio.
it's CHI. CHI like Chianti is spelled CHI. CHI in Italian is
Okay.
T. Yeah.
All right.
So it
Yeah.
should be it
So
should
I
be
assume it's Torquio, but then we were talking about it this morning, and I was like, I don't. Somebody asked, well, wouldn't that be if it was two C's? And I was like, I don't know. So I'm not sure.
No, I think
Ask them.
two C's is a CH. Yeah, I don't know, right?
Well, Pinocchio
I
is
have,
two C's.
what?
Pinocchio was two C's.
I have to ask my Italian client. I have
Keep one just in case.
actually one of Carl's my
Keep one
seller.
Italian client on hand.
What's that?
I said you keep one Italian client on hand for such.
Actually, the condo that I had over in Belmont Harbor, she's bilingual. She speaks Italian. I can ask her. She's one of Carl's pals. She'll tell me.
Maybe it doesn't matter if it's one C or two. I don't know.
No, it definitely matters. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know Italian well enough. I don't know Italian. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Spanish. I don't know Italian. But it's funny because there's a restaurant over on Montrose and just west of Sacramento, so like on the corner of Whipple maybe. It's called Angelo's, and it was a family pizza joint. And then the dad retired and the son took it over and he turned it into a more upscale kind of neighborhood restaurant. It's really, by the way, it's really great. But they show um, old like film noir Italian movies and with captions because they turn the sound off,
Mhm.
like from the 40s and 50s and stuff. And it's kind of a riot actually to see those old, they have them on screens all around the restaurant.
I think you and I have different definition of what a riot is. A silent black and white movie in the background doesn't almost like a riot.
I think it's cool. Okay, maybe
We lead very different lives.
yeah. Well, that's for true. No lie there. Well, I mean, I guess riot is the wrong word, but I mean, it's very fun and very interesting. And they have a nice cocktail program.
Yes, if you, I was going to say, I guess if you drink enough cocktails, it's a riot.
And they have a great cocktail program. So Angelo's over on Montrose, it's like 29, I want to say 2934 because I put it into my Google Maps several times. So haven't been there in a while. Well, with COVID, none of our usual hangouts have we been to, right? But
yeah, I did. They didn't have a lot of vegan stuff last night, but the stuff that I did have was good. And people seemed to really enjoy their meals. So yeah, they had a handful of vegetarian stuff that they can make vegan. But yeah, but it was, that stuff was still substantial and pretty creative. It wasn't just like, okay, you get beans or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we'll bring out a baked potato for you or whatever.
And they did have a really good margarita. I just had like a regular classic, margarita, they hand squeeze all the lime and, there was no crap in it, and
I don't understand why restaurant, like particularly like a Mexican restaurant that like you go there specifically for the margaritas, right? Don't you? Doesn't one go to Mexican specifically for margaritas? Well,
probably depends on who it is and what the place is, but
I mean, a margarita is like so easy to make. Why would you not use fresh ingredients and make them?
I think it's because most Americans don't realize that's what it's supposed to be. They're used to that margarita mix, triple sec, all that stuff. It makes it kind of gross in my opinion, but that's what people
overly sweet
margaritas are.
Usually overly sweet.
Well, they're overly sweet and sour and just syrupy and just I don't know. I don't like any. I love margaritas, but I don't like all that stuff. And so, most places you can get like a Cadillac margarita or something like that that's, doesn't have all that, but
they do make fresh.
Yeah, but these were really, this was just their straight tequila. They're really popular for their mezcal margarita, but I'm not a mezcal fan. Most everybody got the mezcal one though. But
yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not into
and they were like in a modern kind of like, simple rocks glass and not a big, crazy margarita thing or whatever, but yeah, nicely done. Yeah.
So was Tamara surprised? Was she appropriately surprised?
She was. Her husband had told me that he thought she may be on to him and she thought something might be up, but it wasn't what she expected at all. So, and she had called me on Thursday and I thought, uh-oh, she has an idea she's fishing or something. And I was afraid to call her back because I thought, oh, she's going to start testing me or whatever, but it didn't come up and she had no idea. So
was it her actual birthday on Sunday or was it
it was Friday. Friday was her birthday. So yeah, this was a little and they'd already kind of
probably calling you on Thursday so that you could take her out for her birthday on Friday.
And again, I acted like I didn't even know it was her birthday because I thought if I said anything, it would tip her off.
Oh, you're so devious.
I was just trying to keep from being the one that spilled the beans.
Right. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Carl actually, one of his pals had a cookout, and did they have a beautiful? Actually, I got home. I did this photo walk at Lincoln Park in the afternoon, which was really fun. It was such a beautiful afternoon, and I got home, and of course, with the going off daylight savings, the sunset is so much earlier, an hour earlier now. And I saw the moon come up over the lake. It's practically a full moon. And I tried to get it with my phone because I just come from this photo shoot, that this photo walk, and I was in the spirit and whatnot. But you just can't get a good night picture with the phones. I've decided for Christmas I want a real digital camera so I can capture the.
Well, that may be true, but there's probably a lot more you can do on your phone than you realize. You just have to learn how to do it. So you probably ought to take one
Well,
of
you
those.
know what? But that was kind of part of the reason why I signed up for the photo walk, because the woman who conducted it, actually, she gave us a handout to kind of give us some pointers on composition tips and stuff like that. And most of those photos she did take with her phone, and I was asking her some pretty, because we didn't, there were a few people that had signed up that didn't come, so we didn't have much of a turnout. It was just a few of us, and I had the ability then to ask her very specific and pointed questions. And I mean, she kind of agreed with me that I mean,
Yeah,
there's
there's more
certainly
that you can do with a camera, obviously. Yeah. But I would bet money that you could do a lot more with your phone than you've been doing, and can probably get better nighttime shots than you realize you can. You just have to know the functions and how to use it.
yeah, maybe. Well, that's possible. Maybe I'll Google that.
I know they do, that there's a lot of both online and in person iPhone photography classes, and I'm sure there is for your Google phone too.
Mhm, mhm.
But they can do whole movies and stuff you've probably seen, like shot on iPhone and everything, and it's like you would never know.
Right,
So
right.
I'm sure it's similar with yours. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a Samsung actually. It's
Oh,
a
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Samsung, but yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I need to research that in my free time.
Hey, why don't you have Mari research it?
Oh, good idea. Yeah. So it seems like, I mean, I don't know, should we talk about the market a little bit?
I don't know what to say. I'll let you talk about it. I still feel like we're kind of all holding our breath, waiting to see what the market is. I don't really feel like I know what the market is yet. I feel like everybody's kind of like just waiting to see, but I don't know.
I think that might be your downtown market, because my experience is actually quite different. I'm
Well, it
finding,
usually is, yeah.
right? Yeah, I think it might be although, our mutual friend with the condo in West Loop, I mean, he had that sold right away. He got that sold the first week he put it on the market in West
Yeah,
Loop.
that's good.
So, I mean, it's definitely a price sensitive market. There's no question that the buyers are very price sensitive, and they're freaking out about these interest rates. And of course, the Feds came out last week and announced that they're going to be raising prime another 3/4 point. Prime only indirectly affects mortgages, of course, because mortgages are tied into the bond market. But yeah, a rising tide raises all ships, of course. So if interest rates go up, the short-term prime rate goes up, mortgages will ultimately reflect that as well. But they're quoting like 7.5, 7.75 interest rate, 30-year fixed interest rates now. But I had a buyer just lock in on a program at, I think, 6 7/8 on Friday. So I think in certain circumstances, depending on FICO scores and all that stuff, I think you can still find some relatively cheaper money out there. But in the historic scheme of things, it's so I think that the rise in interest rates has got a lot of people. I think buyers have finally figured out that rates are only going one way. They're only going to be going up. Although the Fed now has promised that they're going to do one more big 3/4 point increase, and then they're going to stop for a while and let things simmer down. Well, that's what they said last week, but I guess we'll see what they do. But and you and I have said this many times, that the big scheme of things, a 7.5, even an 8% interest rate is not really that horrible.
Mhm.
Yeah, but compared
Less
to
than half of what we
3
used to have.
compared to 3%, though, of course, it's
Yeah.
you know,
Compared to 18 or 20%, it's good though.
it affects affordability, and of course, that's what buyers look at. They look at the bottom line, what their monthly payments are going to be, and they don't care about the interest rate as much as they care what are their payments going to be. But there's a lot of buy down programs available. A buyer I was speaking to last night, she banks at Chase, and talked to a loan officer at Chase last night, and they're giving, because of the location of the property that she's interested in buying, it's in an affordable housing, one of those affordable housing tracts, census tract areas. Chase is giving her a $5,000 grant, and they're recommending that she take that and use it to buy down the rate permanently, a permanent buy down.
Mhm.
And they're saying that they can buy down the rate. Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not, if she misunderstood what they were telling her, but she says that the Chase lender told her that they could buy down the rate 2 points with a $5,000 grant. But that seems, I would have thought it would have been more than that, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have to get a lender
Be
on.
more money than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have cost more than that to buy down. I mean, it all depends on, again, it's all what's the amount of the mortgage that you're talking about, and what's the buyer's FICO score, and how much are they putting down, and there's a lot of moving parts there that have to be taken into consideration. But it seems like buying down the rates right now is a very hot topic.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that, I mean, because we had Terrence on, maybe was it a month ago, where he talked about the 2-1 buy down program, and that's a temporary buy down. But if rates are going to stay high for the next 3 years, you probably don't want to do a temporary buy down. I don't know. I guess that's something to think about and look at. For sure.
And guess.
And guess, right? But I mean, my take on it is the rates were being held artificially low during COVID. So you knew that, these 2 and 3% interest rates were an anomaly thanks to COVID, and that they weren't going to last. So I don't think anybody should expect to ever see those rates again. And if you can lock something in at 5 or 6% permanently, I think you're going to look pretty smart in about 5 years. Personally, in my opinion.
Or it could be you spend a lot of money for nothing, and the rates
you spend a lot of money on nothing, right? Well, and as I told Jules, I told her that I said, the truth of the matter is that even though you have a great rate on your mortgage, nobody keeps a mortgage for the full 30 years. Hardly, I shouldn't say nobody. Hardly anybody keeps their mortgage for
especially in our market,
in our market, yeah. Either they sell the property for whatever reason because their life changes and it's they need a different situation, or they want to take the equity out of the property. They've got too much equity and they want to take that money out and do something with it. So they end up refinancing, and they don't keep, they get rid of their mortgage. They don't usually keep a mortgage more than about, I think the statistics show that it's like 5-7 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think 7 was even a national average. I think in our market, it's quite a bit less.
Yeah. So I guess if you can buy down the rate for 5 or maybe even take a 5-year adjustable, it probably would make a lot of, if the adjustable rates warrant it. But sometimes the adjustable rates are not low enough to make it worth doing.
Worth the risk. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well,
All right.
I got nothing more. And you got anything more? Everybody have a good week. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather. I've decided fall. Oh, what I was going to say about the full moon and the photography is I heard that there's supposed to be an eclipse of the moon, I think tonight.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I'm going to stay up for it.
We'll look to see if we can't see it.
What's that?
We'll look to see if we can't see it.
Actually, I do have some really exciting news. I'm so amazed and excited. I actually saw a green flash this morning.
Like a
The
northern
sun,
light.
no, the sun coming up,
Oh,
the green
oh, okay.
flash.
Yeah.
Because I've been getting up because the sun gets up so late now, and I get up early enough that, and now that I've been able to get up early enough to see the sunrise come up over the lake. And so for the last week, I don't know, I've been like obsessed with, okay, I want to see a green flash. And I actually saw one this morning. But can I just say that it's not worth all the hype that
I was
everybody.
gonna say, I don't get it.
I mean, it was literally a flash. I mean, if I had like blinked, I would have, if I hadn't been looking for it, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah,
Let me just say it that way. But
yeah.
I definitely, I mean, it was so clear and beautiful, and the horizon was just in this, yeah, the sunrise was a beautiful.
Well, that was quite a lead up for that.
For my to see the green flash.
Well, yes, the big news.
Well, I'm excited
Big
about it.
exciting news.
Well, I was excited about it because, like I said, I've been obsessing about it all week and getting up and
More
making sure.
like a letdown.
Oh no, I wasn't let down. I thought it was cool, but it was not. But it was not dramatic.
But not worth it.
It was totally worth it, but just not dramatic. And that's what I'm saying. All the drama around it, it's not dramatic. That's what I'm saying. And if I hadn't been looking for it, I wouldn't have seen it.
All right. Well, glad you saw it.
All right. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.